Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Leech. I'm back with another video. Yeah, I told y'all I'll probably try to do a vlog every once in a while. Yeah, so this is it. This is what I look like, and yeah, so I'm just trying to try this out, trying to figure this whole thing out.
It's Dre knows. 3 kings.
Not the best at it. I've done like 6 or 7 takes. I'm terrible at it. Compared to a commentary. Commentaries are easy compared to this, man. At least easy for me. Easy compared to doing a vlog. Vlogs are difficult, bro. But anyway, so what am I trying to talk about? Last week I put out a video called Propaganda 20 Years, and it was a poem by a guy named Propaganda, and it was about 20 years, and basically he illustrated the relationship of the African American in the United States with the United States, and he represented that by using a marriage where a woman was married to a guy for 20 years, where he beat on her and she was just humiliated. Sorry, can't speak. By him basically, and her self-esteem and everything was just basically destroyed because of who he was. And then every once in a while she acted out. I mean, maybe not her, but other people who were in the same situation acted out, because I mean, it's just, I mean, after a while, if you get beat on enough, you gonna punch back after a while. It's just the way it is. I mean, that's how you handle bullies and stuff. But anyway, so that's that. And basically, that poem was really good. I put that out so I could get some comments from everybody to see, because I mean, I have a good little group of people that I know who I expected to comment on, which they didn't. So I'm looking at them. I'm coming at y'all. Y'all know yourselves, but I'm just playing. But they didn't. But anyway, so I didn't get a whole lot of comments, but I did get some comments about you're trying to start up something and stuff like that. And from my boy GPP, which I was just like, I'm not trying to do anything. But anyway, I really wanted to make people uncomfortable with that video. In all honesty, I wanted people to think with that video. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. So I was trying to do this type of video, which this video is basically about the Black Lives Matter movement and police brutality. And I was trying to do this at a time where it wasn't at the forefront or very thing that was going on right now. But it was, man, shaky camera's bad. I figured that out. But yeah, we had the issue that happened in Tulsa, and then we also had the thing that happened in Charlotte. And so it's back on the forefront of everybody's mind. So I just wanted to touch on it. So basically, what was the poem pointing out? The poem was basically pointing out why the Black Lives Matter movement is important. The movement, which a lot of people get twisted. The movement is not saying that police lives don't matter. Don't get twisted. Don't do that. Because it's not saying police lives don't matter. All it's saying is Black lives matter, and we should brings to perspective things that have been going on in the African American community for such a long time, and nobody has paid any attention to it until now that we have cell phones to show video evidence. Video evidence has changed everything to where people can post it on YouTube, can post it on Facebook, can post it on Instagram to show that, look, we ain't lying. We've been saying this for years, and we ain't saying that police lives don't matter, because look, man, if I'm in trouble, I'm gonna call 911. If I get in an accident, guess who I'm calling? 911. We expect police, and we're not saying that all police are bad either. Right? Nobody's saying that, because that would just be bad. But at the same time, we are saying we as African Americans have gone through certain things for so many years, and if you don't believe me, you don't know. But we've gone through so many things for so many years, and we just need y'all to listen. That's all it is. It's listen to the things that we are going through. Listen to the perspective that we are bringing to the table. I heard somebody say that Black Lives Matter shouldn't be Black Lives Matter. It should be White Lives Matter, because more white people get shot by police than black people. And in my head, I laughed and I said, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Why did I say that? There's just, if you look at the ratio of the population in the United States, you just generally, overall, you have more white people than you do black people. The African American population consists of 16% of the United States, and it's dwindling. It's not growing, it's dwindling. the Latino population in the United States actually growing. It's about 12% now. And the Caucasian American population in the United States is over 60%, which makes sense. But when I heard that, it clicked in my head that people just don't have a perspective. Because at the end of the day, if you've never gone through the things that a black man has gone through, if you've never been stopped by the road, if you've never been stopped when you're going the right speed limit, and all of a sudden you get pulled over and you're like, why did I get pulled over again? And the guy says license and registration. And we had this is a funny story I'll tell you. So one day my dad's teaching me how to drive, right? So I'm going super slow, like speed limit, like, okay, so the speed limit was what, 50? And we were going, it was like early in the morning. And some people will say, that's why you got stopped. Why are you driving early in the morning? But my friends who did the same thing, they ain't got pulled over. Like, come on. I lived in a mainly white community. My parents did raise me up in a very well place, and I thank God for them every single day. But we lived in a mainly white community, and my dad was teaching me how to drive, and they pulled us over, and they were like, and the guy came up to our car, and we were like, yes sir, yes sir. And it was so weird because he didn't have a reason to stop us, but he did. And there's so many other black people that I know, so many African Americans that I know who legit have those same stories where, because they looked like someone, because they were in a certain area at a certain time, they got pulled over. I have a friend who went to Georgia and he lived, like, his parents live in a good part of the town, and so he pulled into that part of the town and he got pulled over for broken tag lights, which he didn't have. And it was in the morning also, like, it was just like, what are you talking about? But it just brings to the forefront what I'm talking about. Basically, if you don't have the compassion enough to think, okay, these people are going through these things, to even try to see the perspective of the people going through them, well, that's why we need Black Lives Matter. That's why we need protests. And I'm not talking about riots. There's a difference. There's a difference between riots and protests. People use, just like when the Rodney King thing happened, people use that as an excuse to rob and break down stores and that kind of thing. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is legitimately protest to bring attention, and that's all a protest does. Brings an attention. I don't like when people start getting twisted and saying, oh, you're saying no one else's life matters. The only people's life that matter is black people. No, we're not trying to. People try to victim shame or get so defensive about these things. No, that's not what I'm trying to do. All it is bringing attention to the forefront of the things that we are currently going through, we are facing in the African American communities. So that's all it is. That's all it is. That poem was just basically bringing to the forefront about the things that was going on and about the history of the African American community. How we didn't decide for some of these things, but yet it happened, and so we stayed. And we've powered through. We've come a long way. Yeah, don't get me wrong. We have come a long way. We've come a long way from slavery, but we still have a ways to go. We still have a ways to go. If you don't know what institutionalized, oh my gosh, I can't say that word, but racism that goes on in corporate America, if you don't know about that, I mean, it is what it is. It's just, if you don't experience these things, you will never know. You just won't. You just will never know. That's why we have things. I remember in high school, my friends would be like, oh, he just got that scholarship because he was black. It's like, yeah, and I put in my work to get this 4.1 GPA. I put in my work. I spent my butt staying up at night studying. And the reason why they have things like that, where they have scholarships for the African American community, is because otherwise we ain't gonna get a shot, man. It just is that way. But anyway, I just wanted to touch on it, speak on it. It's hard to do a vlog, but yeah, think about that. Think about it, and just try your best to have compassion. Next time you hear something about Black Lives Matter, just put your own thoughts aside for a moment and try to have a different perspective, especially with this Colin Kaepernick issue, which I'll talk about another time. But try to have a different perspective. And as a Christian, we are called to be compassionate. The greatest commandment above is to love your neighbor as yourself. And the Bible says that if you cannot love man, who you do see, how can you love God who you don't see? So basically, just have compassion. Think about it. Just think about it and have a different perspective. As long as it's along with what the Bible says, have a perspective. Have a different perspective. Try to think through it. But anyway, that's all I have for y'all. A lot longer than I thought it would be, but I'll talk to y'all another time. God bless y'all. Peace. And now you know what I look like. So if you see me I'm just playing, man. I'll talk to y'all later. God bless y'all. Peace.